Good morning, everybody. We'll probably get started now. There's still a few people that are set to join, but hopefully they'll join soon. So just a couple ground rules for these. If you have a question, you're more than welcome to ask throughout the presentation. There is a hand up, hand down emoji. You'll see me go up and down now. I'll show you just briefly. So you're welcome to do that, or use the chat if you're uncomfortable speaking on camera. Sometimes also you guys have issues with your mute, so you're welcome to use the chat or whatever. Today, Jessie Cooper from our e-business team is going to do our presentation for you. I'll let her introduce herself, but she's going to cover solutions of Wolseley Express for your entire organization, from how to be like an owner to engage, all the way down to a warehouse associate and how to engage. And there's lots of different things that you can take away from this presentation. It is generalized, but we can definitely look at more customized solutions. So I'll definitely pass it over to Jessie. She's very knowledgeable, and she's going to take us through today. Welcome, Jessie.
Thank you, Megan. Good morning, everyone. Appreciate you joining me moderately. I know most of you probably started about an hour or so ago, if you ever stopped. But okay, so I'm just going to share my screen with you. Megan, I don't believe I'll be able to see their hands. So if at any point in time someone does raise their hand or ask a question, I'll just get you to point that out for me.
No problem.
Thank you. Okay, so all right. So as Megan said, my name's Jessie Cooper. I'm an e-business specialist with Wolseley. I've been with Wolseley for about 5 years now in a few different levels of the organization. So I've been counter sales at the branch in Sudbury. I actually manage the North Bay branch. I've been an assistant manager, and I've been in e-business for a couple years now. So it's something I enjoy and feel really passionate about, and I'm very excited about how it's been growing and the future of Wolseley Express. So it's something that's definitely worth getting into because it will only get better and better and more tailored towards you and your account. So um, I will also provide you with my information at the end. So in the event that you find this training useful and you want to learn a little bit more about Wolseley Express, but want to figure out a way that we can tailor it to you, please feel free to reach out to me with any questions or reach out to your sales rep at any point in time, and we can set up something a little more one-on-one if you'd like. Okay. So, why would you use Wolseley Express? We're living in a world where time is limited, resources are limited, and really, as business owners, you you're really looking to provide great customer service and um, really reduce your bottom line. So, we want you to save, and we want to be a part of your company and help you save. So. You save time, whether it's quickly reordering purchased products, to save time with your field personnel by having them just do express pickup, spend less time in the branch, keep them safe, increase accuracy using our web quote features, or making sure that you're selecting the product that you want and decrease the over the phone miscommunications. We also have a great deal of visibility using this platform, and you'll get to see that as we go through this presentation. It also allows you to exercise some level of control based on the different members of your organization and what you may or may not want them to have access to in regarding your account. Each profile on Wolseley Express is you can tailor it to fit a specific user. Um, okay, so in saying that, I want you to keep in mind throughout the presentation the different types of members that you have in your organization, whether you're an owner administrator that might have access to all features of Wolseley Express, or whether it's just somebody such as a sales rep that might need to see pricing and availability and maybe pull some spec sheets directly from those products. Your field techs who maybe you do want ordering, your warehouse associates that are maybe only going to need to order from a specific group of products, or they're using their barcoding solutions. So again, there is no one size fits all for any specific profile, but just keep that in mind when you're looking at some of these. These icons here that I've indicated as well will be on some of the pages, and you'll notice some of them are grayed out. That might not be the best type of Wolseley Express feature for that profile, but again, as business owners, you have complete control over that. Okay. And I do apologize. I'm assuming everyone can see my slides. I usually ask if it's up there. Megan, can you just double check that for me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, thank you. I think I still need to get through my second coffee today. All right, so I'm just going to dive into it. When you first log into Wolseley Express, you're going to be brought to a page that looks like this here. So this is what we call My Wolseley. You can get to this page at any point in time by simply clicking on one of these tabs here called My Wolseley. Um, it has a lot of great features on it. So as I was speaking earlier, there's a lot of things that are modifiable based on the account or the profile. There's two different types of features on Wolseley Express. So you're going to have your account driven features that include your order history. So what that means is across all profiles, these are going to be the same. So if you have access to see order history, all members are going to see the same order history because it includes your history from the branch as well as online, not just specific orders that you've entered. Similar to web quotes, anything that the branch has issued to you, this will be visible by the same items will be visible by anyone that has this feature enabled. And then your My Ordered products, as it is pulled directly from the account product purchase history. Then you have features that are user driven. So if Bob is logged in and Jane is logged in, Bob's not going to see Jane's cart and Jane won't see Bob's cart. So you can't accidentally delete something from their cart or add to their cart unintentionally. Okay, draft orders, which you'll see down here at the bottom of your My Wolseley page, those are also user driven as they are generated by the cart. Your My lists, anything customizable that we'll get into that a little bit later, but those are specific to you as a user. Now you do have the opportunity to share that with the rest of your team. And again, we'll dig into that a little bit deeper. And then your account settings, such as your password and username and email are all modifiable by yourself. Okay, so on that My Wolseley page, you're also going to notice your name and your account number. So here, if you actually hover over your name at any point in time, you have the ability to see a bunch of different options here. So you have your switch account, which I'll get into in a second, my settings. So that's going to include your username, your password, and email. You can also change your password, change your payment preferences. Wolseley does allow terms accounts to add a credit card onto file if for some reason you do choose to check out with your own personal credit card. Probably won't be used a great deal by your accounts, but it is a feature that is enabled. You can log out and you can also see the branch that you're tied to. If you do have technicians that are working at multiple different locations, sometimes it might be wise to switch the branch if they're working in a certain area for a certain period of time. Okay, back up at the top here, as I was saying, you have access to Switch account or Switch profile. So you all have your primary Wolseley account that you put your consumables on, that you're allowed to purchase, and are not limited in what you're purchasing. So your account, if you chose to set up with Wolseley Express, would be tied to that account. Now, in the event that you do want to see information that's going through your corporate consolidated account, we are able to give you access to visibility on that account. And what that would allow you to do is not place any orders, but it would at least allow you to see the current orders that are open for you, as well as track any of those by PO. You can also see your pricing all through that account. Okay, so when hovering over your name, you'd simply switch profile, and then you'd be able to select and toggle between the two accounts there. Okay, I'm just going to give you a live demo of the Wolseley Express page now. So this is that My Wolseley that I was saying when you logged in. Again, you have access to your orders, web quotes, your ordered products, personal lists, and your draft orders are down here. If you want to get to any of these features, you are always welcome to click My Wolseley, and it'll bring you back to this home page from any page on the website. So if you're doing a search, you can easily toggle back to here. Alternatively, you can also simply just use the My Wolseley drop-down, which home will bring you to this page. Orders will bring you to the My Orders section, draft orders, et cetera, et cetera. This is also where you're going to get access to your user management. So when I was speaking earlier about the different types of individuals within your organization, this is where you would actually add those users and maintain them. So whether someone leaves your business, you could quickly disable their profile. You could add or remove specific user rights, and I'll get into that in a second. So by clicking on user management, it's going to bring you to this screen. So you'll be able to see all the accounts that are currently registered, and the account that you're in, just to make sure that you're not in your or sorry, that you're in the correct account, who your sales rep is in case you have any questions, and et cetera, et cetera. You'd also be able to add your users through using this button. So for each new user, you need a unique email address. You cannot have multiple people registered under the same email address. Now, should you choose to, and if it makes sense for your organization, you can have multiple people log in using the same profile, but note that those user-driven features will be shared by everyone. So if there are items in a cart and another user logs in with that same profile, they will see that cart and they have the opportunity to modify that cart. Okay. Simply fill in all the fields with your with the red asterisks, select their default branch, and then you can modify their user rights down here. So in the event that you are having your field technicians or giving anyone access to cart and you want to make sure that you're copied on all of the orders they purchase, this is a great place to add in your own email address or your administrator email address so that you get an email confirmation every time they physically place an order through Wolseley Express. This is giving you real-time information, whereas at the branch level, you may wait until that night to see what's been invoiced. You won't see if anything's been ordered and it's on back ordered until you investigate, whereas here you'll actually get that full, complete visibility right away. Okay. So, oh, it did not go to where I wanted to. My apologies, guys. So again, that's just a quick summary here. I've included the user management features here. There's quite a few of them, and you'll want to make sure you read them through just to understand what user rights you're giving your team members. So you can add or remove the access to pricing, whether or not they can actually transact on the platform, invoice gateway, which I highly recommend only being accessible to your administrators, either the AP and AR or accounts receivable, accounts payable team, yourself as owners, and user management should only be really owned by one person as well. Viewing the branch stock quantities is something that I would recommend for all team members. Order status as well, because they can search it and actually see different features that are specific to all members of your team, as well as select accounts and web quotes. So again, I'll include this in your presentation, and Megan will be posting this up for you all to access, so you can look at this a little bit closer when the time comes. Okay, so the main section of Wolseley Express, that first section of your My Wolseley page, is going to be your My Orders. This is a fantastic section of Wolseley Express if you're only using it just to keep on top of items that are moving in and out of your sorry, one second, I need a quick sip of your account. It's going to show you all transactions with Wolseley. So whether that's an in-branch purchase or an online purchase, you're also going to see the history for the last 12 months. And this is a rolling history, so it'll update regularly. This is live for the most part. If someone were to place an order at the branch, within an hour or so, you would see it on here as well. This will allow you to check your order status, use the search bar to return more specific results when you're actually in the order history, and then to also reorder some of those orders to the cart. So we'll go to a live demo right now. So again, you can get to your My Wolseley page simply by clicking My Wolseley, or you can go to that section by going to Orders. Once you're more familiar with the site, most often you will probably just use these drop downs. So for the duration of this presentation, I am going to use those drop downs as well. Okay, so now that you're in your My Orders, and note that I'm just using your corporate account profile right now because that is consistent across the board. You will be set up on your own individual accounts. So when you're in the My Orders, this is where you can filter down your order history. So as we look at this right now, you have a great deal of information just from this primary page. You're going to have your Wolseley order number. If you were to place any of these orders on Wolseley Express, you would also have your web reference number, which is a confirmation number that you're going to receive in the email each time you place a web order. If we had quoted this to you, you would also have your web quote in there as well. And I'll get to that section a little bit further. You can see whether it was placed at the branch under a regular order type or on the web, it'll say web order. The date that it was placed, your PO, total value of that order, and then the order status here. So the order status is probably something that you guys will use quite a bit when you're searching, especially right now in the way that the current climate is, and in terms of getting product into the branch and delayed orders. And this is a really easy way for you to keep on top of what you currently have ordered and what you're waiting to come in. So the order status, you're going to use probably 4 for the most part, but you can see whether it's been invoiced. The shipped is still something that we're growing right now. If you do see any that are set to ship, it means we've invoiced it throughout the day, but it hasn't quite flipped over and is not an official invoice. So there's still things that we can maintain on it. But for yourself, open in progress, what that means is the order's been placed and it's printed at the branch. So that could mean 100% of your order is allocated, or only partials are allocated. But regardless, the paperwork's there and they will be able to, if you walk into the branch, you'd be able to get that right away. They'd be able to pick it for you. You can further go into that order to learn which items are actually available for that sales order and if there's anything that hasn't yet come in or has been allocated. The open back ordered is going to show you all orders that have at least one item outstanding, and you've requested that, okay, I want this entire order as a complete order, so your ship complete. So it hasn't printed at the branch yet, and they're still waiting on something to come in. So that's probably something that you guys will want to use fairly regularly if you wanted to follow up on any of your orders and just see a lead time. So by simply filtering by open back ordered, it will narrow it down to any orders that you have in that status. You can click on the red order number and it will show you what's in the order, your quantities, so how many are outstanding of each. And then this column here that says invoiced quantity is actually at this stage the product that's at the branch. So what's allocated to your order. So in the event that you had an order quantity of 2, outstanding 0, and invoice quantity 2 with no invoice number beside it, that means that that product is at the branch right now, and you can feel confident in sending your team members to pick it up or request that this order be released and delivered. Okay. You can simply go back, everything there, and oh, I apologize. The great thing about going into your order history is you can see quite a bit of information. So again, you have your order number there, the type of order, the date, when you said you required that order by, any PO that you have, who ordered it, the total, the branch, and which account it's tied to. So you have all that great information right at the header there for yourself to review. If for some reason this was an order that you wanted to place again, so you could do this for any of your orders in the last 12 months, you can actually simply add to cart. What that will do is it will update your pricing to the current system pricing. So if this was something that was specially quoted to you at the branch, it will update to system pricing. So if you do need, for some reason, anything to be adjusted price-wise, make sure you just double check that pricing and it's still what you have on hand. If there's anything that needs to be changed, make sure you reach out to your sales rep for that pricing, as Wolseley Express does not control the pricing. That is controlled at a branch level and by your sales rep. So now that I decided, okay, that's something that I'd like to reorder again, it's a regular order for me, say it's got the complete unit and all your accessories for a complete installation. If this were on your personal accounts, it would be a great thing. You can simply do add to cart, and now it's back in there for easy ordering. Okay. I'm just going to go back to the presentation for 1 second. Okay, so when you're in your cart, there's a few different things you can do. You can, which we would love for you to do, you can check out. So you can complete the order by following the steps and actually checking out and sending that order to the branch. When you check out, that is the only time where inventory is physically allocated to you. So until that exact moment where you check out and you get your authorization, the cart items that are in your cart or in a draft order are not tied to you yet. You can save that as a draft. So if you're not quite ready to check out at this time, you can simply save as a draft and follow up with that later, or you can save it as a list. So in the cart here right now, I am going to go over the process of what it would look like if you actually were happy with everything that's in your cart. Say you wanted to actually just eliminate a couple of these. Really, you only wanted the top 2 units for this reorder. You can make these changes now simply by clicking delete. You can also update any of the quantities that you would like on here. So if you only wanted 1 for this order, quite simply, just click on it. You'll see there when I change the quantity. Oh, my computer's freezing. Sorry, it's not the platform, I promise. When you change the quantity, you can see that it's now updated your cart by clicking off of it. When you're in the cart, there's some great things that you can see here as well. So you'll be able to see your stock icons. These are tied to the branch that you're tied to. So a green check mark means, yes, that's stock at my current branch. Orange Google bubble means that it's stock somewhere else in Wolseley, but not specifically at your branch. So generally speaking, you could probably anticipate that product within a couple days, but feel free to reach out to your branch for a little bit more information afterwards if you are concerned with the lead time. When you click the red checkout on the right-hand side, you can your information will automatically be defaulted in here. You will be able to add your purchase order number, decide whether you want it to be pick up or shipped to your location. In the event that you are picking up, you can pick up from any branch in Ontario. Your default branch will populate here. If you'd like the order complete, you would select that when entire order is ready, or you can leave it default to as items become available. So it'll print right away at the branch, even if there is one item back ordered. When you select the required by date, if you select today's date, you can actually choose the option for an express pickup. So that is saying, yes, I'm going to come into the branch within the next 60 minutes. Please have this prepared for me right away. This will then print at the branch with the words express pickup across it, and we'll let them know that this is a higher priority order and that they should begin picking that as soon as they're available. If you click no, I'll pick it up as indicated in my instructions. You'll just have to say, see you at 2, or George is coming to pick this up, anything you want in there, and then proceed. In this page, you will have to make sure that you're filling out all the fields that have the red asterisks, or it won't allow you to click this red continue button. Okay, see, I didn't have a PO in there, so now it's asking for it. You get the opportunity to just review this one more quick time, make sure that all of the items that you've updated have updated properly, that you've selected the right location to ship to, entered your PO information. If at any point in time you see that there's something that doesn't look quite right, you simply go back to shopping cart and you can make those changes. I'm personally not able to check out for you, so Jason, don't worry. I think I saw you on there. I won't be purchasing anything for you today. Okay. Once you have physically placed that order, you will get an email or a confirmation that'll pop up that'll say, thank you for purchasing. Here's your web reference number. And then an email will be driven to yourself. In the event that it's any of your technicians and they've placed that order, the email will go to them as well as anyone that you've CC'd on that order confirmation. So the second thing that I said that you could do from the shopping cart is save as a draft. So in the event that, say, you're preparing this for a later time, or possibly your sales rep has quoted this for one of their clients and we're just waiting on a confirmation from the client to say, yes, I do want this, you can actually save this as a draft. Client 1, you could put in their address, a name, phone number, whatever you really want to. However you want to set this up to make sure that you know who this is, and it can even help you with following up with the customer. So say you quoted Susie, have their phone number, and today's date. And that way, as a sales rep, if you want to make sure you're following up, you can quickly go into your draft orders and go, okay, I'm going to give Susie a call. So now that I've clicked save as a draft, it actually empties the cart and puts this in as a draft order. So my Wolseley, you can get to this at any point in time by your draft orders, or it's down at the bottom of your My Wolseley homepage. The draft orders you can't edit from this section. So when you click on the draft order, you're going to see the product that was included in that draft, but you'll notice there's no buttons for you to add or remove. You can't change the quantities. So in order to actually update this or make any changes or proceed with the order, you simply add it back to the cart. And now you can make any changes that you need. Or again, proceed to checkout. The final thing that you can do when you're in the cart is actually save this as a list. So in the event that you are populating your order for a typical installation, so all the installation pieces for this unit, you could actually save this as a list. Tag it whatever you'd like. If you want to tag it with the size of the unit, install, 1 piece, 2 piece, etc. Put a description if you'd like as well, and then just save it as a list. So that list, and we'll get to it in a few moments, is going to be your resource to actually go and easily order this product without having to ever search for it again. It's something that you can modify if you change how you do things at a later time. I will go into further detail a little bit later. So note that when you're saving items as a list, it doesn't remove it from your cart anymore. It's just now giving you that ability to access that product at a later time And then you can still proceed with this checkout here. So I'm going to empty the cart, which you can do at any point in time from the bottom here, just to make sure there's no duplication for me. Okay, so common reasons to use that draft order section would be on, as I said, if you're waiting for approval from a customer. Um, if you wanted to wait until a little bit closer to a scheduled installation date, you could put everything in the cart here, and then when you have, when it's go time, you can simply just place that order versus having to spend that additional time to populate that cart. If you're working on a stock order, say someone in the administrator is creating a large warehouse order, but you get a quick call from one of your techs saying, hey, could you please order this? You can easily park it there. Again, if you're working on a quote but need to place a time sensitive order, you can hop in here as well. Or if you're creating an order to be approved by a supervisor. So some companies are set up in that they do share a single login. And what'll happen is they'll have someone that adds everything to the cart. They'll save it with their name and date, and then they'll ask their supervisor to log in and just approve and process that draft order. So that is one way. Um, Note that creating a draft order, as I said, does not actually reserve your inventory. The only time that that happens is when you do place a physical order. So this is probably my favorite feature with Wolseley Express. It is where if a little bit of work is done up front, you can save yourself a significant amount of time and truly increase your accuracy. With lists, you can increase accuracy, as I said. You're going to see your real-time inventory, that it's easy for you to add it to a cart. Lists are shareable. You can use them to help manage your purchasing if you do have your technicians purchasing. Use it almost as a staged approval process. So I'll show you that in a few seconds. And the great thing about these lists is they're current. So what happens, as I'm sure you're aware, is sometimes if a product has been replaced by the manufacturer with a superseded code, what'll happen is these lists will actually allow you to say, hey, this item you regularly purchased, but now the vendor has decided that this is the new code for this, or we've decided that we've recoded this, and we recommend you replace it with this product. You'll have the opportunity to say yes or no if it's a suggestion, but if it's a direct supersede, it's going to update that for you. So you're not spending time updating these lists on your own. Okay, you can also create barcodes, another exciting feature. So um, there's a few different resources when it comes to lists. And I'm going to hop into the list and then we'll go through this when we get back. So my Wolseley, I'll click on it again just so you can see the layout there. You can access your lists from the right-hand side. So the My List section, the lists that populate here are going to be your most recent lists. But you can simply get to all of your lists by clicking View All. Or if you want one of these, you can jump right into that physical list by clicking on the list. So the View All is going to bring you to this page. On this page, you'll notice we have two different search bars. We'll get to this in a minute. This is the main search bar of the website. That'll search your entire website. But you also have this secondary search bar, which will allow you to search for a list. When you get to this list page, you're going to see it'll bring you to your My List section. For those of you who haven't used this feature yet, you will see that there is nothing in your My Lists. But there's a second tab here called Express Lists. So that's one of our first resources. These Express Lists are lists that are created by the business, previous e-business specialists. You'll actually probably see Megan's name on a few of those lists if you do click into them. They're created to be used across the company as a whole. They're going to contain a lot of valuable resources such as your copper pipe and fittings, black pipe, hangers. We also have in here a gas tight list. If you wanted to use that, there's a few of them. For these express lists, they're a really great resource. So you could look at them this way, simply by clicking on the list there once you've searched for it. And you can go into this list, click on the product, and from that point, place the order from the actual product page. But you'll notice these lists, you can't select any one specific, you can't change the quantities. So they're a really great tool, but not as user-friendly in this format. So to make it more applicable and user-friendly and modifiable for yourself, what you're going to want to do is actually add that to my list. Okay, you get a fun little pop-up, and then it'll bring you to your my list. So gas type. You don't have to type the full word, you can type partials, and it'll bring up any list on your my list now that has gas type, or the express list if you still want to go into any of those lists. So now that we've added this to my list, when we open it up, you'll see it's quite different. So here, you're able to select specific items if you want to add multiples to your cart. You can delete items if you don't think that you're ever going to use it and you just would like to clean up your list a little bit, simply by clicking the X on the right-hand side. If you wanted to change a quantity, so say I know that I'm looking for adapters. So now that I'm inside this list, I can actually just search adapter, and it's going to bring up all of my gas type fittings there. Well, I generally, for myself, know that when I use one gas type fitting, I probably use two. So you can actually update these quantities in here, and by simply clicking back, it'll ask you, do you want to save these changes? Yes, to save them, and now the next time you go into that list, that quantity is always going to be 2, and you won't have to make that change in the future. So again, that was your express list here that are generated. We have quite a few. As you can see, there's about 376 currently. I will be adding some more to that. We'll be introducing the continental fireplace list shortly. So that will be a nice benefit to everyone, and that'll include your fireplaces as well as all the accessories to go with them. But I highly recommend when you first log into Wolseley Express, you take a few minutes just to go through here, even if it is page by page, and you simply select the ones that you think would be good for you and add to my list. At any point in time, you can delete lists from your list, so don't be afraid of adding a few too many. And then your my lists are anything that you've customized for yourself. These my lists are great because you can actually share them with your team as well. So the if you'll notice here, we're working on creating a master set of lists for your membership as a whole. So for your membership network. So what we've done is we've looked at a year's worth of history for the Climate Care Network. And we've actually grabbed all the consumable items from those accounts and created some master lists based on those. So there's almost 100 lists that we're working on that will be fully loaded by today. But they won't be on the express list. So I'll need you to reach out to your sales rep or myself if you'd like a copy of those lists. I will be generating and sending it out as well, a master document that includes a listing of all these lists that you'll be able to select specific lists, and we can make sure we forward those lists to you. For instance, the ball valves. So across the company right now, or across the network within the Climate Care membership, these are common ball valves that have been purchased more than 10 times by your network. So we didn't include every single item as it might not be as applicable, but these are commonly purchased products. So this is something that you could have for yourself simply by uploading it. And I will provide you with a document that shows you how to upload that, but it's quite simple. If we were to send you these lists in an Excel document, you would simply go to Import, choose the file, New List, and then name the list. There are some quick resources that'll show you how to do that at a later date and time if you need to. With these, we've also have the opportunity to create personalized binders. So as I was saying, in the list section, there's a lot of great features. So when you're in this list, you can see you can share your list. So in the event you want to share it with any of your team members, by clicking share, the team members that are in here will actually populate, and you can select your specific team members simply by clicking on them and then share. When you click share, what happens is that now populates into their profile. They're no longer able to modify it because you own it, but it is something that you can direct your technicians or your team members to purchase from. So if you do have a specific group of product that you'd like to say, okay, this is how I'd like you purchasing, that is an easy way to try and control um, some of the product that moves in and out of your company. Another great feature for this is if you do have your technicians set up to use Wolseley Express, but you don't quite want them purchasing, you do want that control, you can easily have them create their own list and then share this list with the administrator. So they could share it with Jason. Jason could, or they could give Jason a quick call and say, hey, I've created a list. Could you please review it and add it to the cart and check out? So that would give Jason the opportunity to go into his profile, see that shared list, make any changes that he needs to in the cart, and then process it that way. So another way to enable a little bit more control within your team members and how they're purchasing. A feature that I'm hoping will be developed soon, and we've discussed it, is actually going to be an approval process, but it's not quite there yet. That will help eliminate the need to do that. But right now, that is a great way to try and control some of the spending that's happening at the technician level. Okay. When you're in this list, another thing that you can do is actually print your barcode labels. So the next session that I'm going to talk to you about is your barcoding and scanning solutions. So we'll touch on that in a second. Okay. Just let me check something here. Sorry, my apologies. Okay. So as I was saying here, we have a few different resources. So those are your express lists as we discussed, the membership network list that we're creating. You can also create your own, as I showed you earlier, using the cart. You can also add products to a list simply from the product page, and I'll show you that in a moment. Or you can do it from your My Ordered Products. So the My Ordered Products, when you go to your My Wolseley page, are on the top right-hand side here. When you actually click a document called Download My Ordered Products, it will give you an CSV that you can then re-import as a list. So again, that would just be download. I'm not going to do it because it does take a bit of time. It is downloading 365 days of your order history. But then you could save that and import it as a list, and you can search with inside that if you'd like. Okay. You can also have your work with your sales rep to create customized lists for you. So if you do want anything specific, such as a complete install package, or you're working on something with your sales rep that a dedicated product that you want to make sure everything's included in there, or if any of the lists that we've provided you, say there's that ball valve list. If you can see maybe there's only sizes of 1/2 inch, 3/4, and 1 inch, but you'd like 1 inch and a quarter to, that's something that we can work with you to make sure that it's really tailored to your business. Right now, I'm actually going to take a quick pause to see if there's any lists that you would specifically like to see on here. So if you wanted to actually reach out via chat or raise your hand, I'll give you a second there to say something. Okay. And that's fine. If there's any list that you think of at a later date and time, again, please reach out to your sales rep, or you can reach out to myself. Megan can also be of assistance in this case, but we can really tailor these things to help your business run a little bit more smoothly. Okay, so the barcoding solutions. So from those lists, you can actually generate barcodes, and that's what we do for you as well. This is probably going to be the easiest way for you to manage your warehouse and the purchasing that's being done. It's a great tool that'll help you stay organized, address specific product groups, and can be accessed from either your mobile device or a tablet. So I can't demonstrate it for you right now. So to use the barcoding and scanning solutions, you would simply go to your My Wolseley dropdown on your mobile device, hover over barcode scanner, and it'll bring this up. In the event that you haven't downloaded our barcode scanner yet, it will give you a pop-up, which looks like this on the right-hand side to say, have you downloaded the app for the barcode scanner? You would click yes if you have, or no if you have not, and it'll redirect you to your particular application store. Once you've done that, the next time you go to the barcode scanner, it will populate this. You'd simply hover your phone over the barcode. This would pop up. You'd enter the quantities, and you can add it to a cart, or you can add it to a list, create your own customized list. Once it's added, it'll say, okay, this has been added, and then it'll bring you back to another screen for you to scan again. To check out, you can either check out through Wolseley Express on your phone, or you can then access your cart again on a desktop platform. We have some great warehouse solutions as well as part of the ClimateCare membership. We will actually work with you to help barcode your warehouse for any products that are available through Wolseley. The barcodes come in 3 different sizes. So the 4x2 are quite large and easy to see. They include the barcode, an image of the product, and a short description of the product. The 4x1s also do the same thing. And then your 1x2 and 5/8 only include the product number, the barcode, and the description. I will say I most often use these, the 1x4s, because you can include 2 labels quite easily in some of our bins. And now that I mentioned the bins, this was one that Megan had actually worked on previously, where she went into their warehouse, determined their product with their sales rep, and then converted it to this. So as members of the ClimateCare group and valued customers of Wolseley, we will actually work with you to provide you bin solutions. So these bins come in a couple different sizes, and we can tailor them to your location. But with these bins, we would provide you the barcoding as well. And as you can see here, these bins have the 4x2 label in them. 2 of these 1x4s will actually fit in that bin slot as well quite nicely. We can also use magnets, and there's a multitude of solutions that we can have for you. So if this bin and barcoding situation is something that you feel would be beneficial to your business, please reach out to your sales rep and we can work with them to get you going on that. Okay. These barcodes here as well, and I'm just going to show you now that we've kind of seen a quick look at this. When you're in the lists, you can actually print an entire page. So you can print them as labels and purchase the Avery paper yourself or have us assist you there. You can also just print them as regular sheets and include them in a binder. So that master list of the ClimateCare Network barcodes, we are going to actually give you the opportunity to create binders using that, which will allow some of your warehouse team or your internal staff, if you'd like to just actually scan those from a binder and place the orders quickly that way rather than having to wander around the warehouse. Or you could have your technicians using a binder specifically to purchase from their trucks or wherever they are in the morning. So it's another easy way for you to control the spending that's going on by tailoring exactly what it is that you want your team members to see. Okay, so search is probably the biggest pain point when it comes to this platform. So I'm going to show you a few different ways to search. We have a lot of content on our platform. So your keyword search is going to bring you back a lot of results. So the primary search on that top search bar is going to be your keyword search. So what happens is that anything you type into there searches within the entire product description. Whereas we also have a part number search that you can toggle down to that's going to search specifically only within our Wolseley part number. As you're familiar by now, most of our part numbers are comprised of a 3-digit vendor code and then the vendor part number without spaces or special symbols. So there's a few different ways that we can narrow this, and I will go to the website to do that now. So again, this keyword search is up here now. So say I'm looking for a 13 SEER AC. If I type in 13 SEER, it's going to give me quite a few options. I've got 358 items that populate here. And as you noticed with our stock icons, that green check mark is something that's available right away. The orange bubble is available at any of the branches in Ontario. And then the blue check means that we have to order it in directly from the vendor. So if you're looking for something that you need right away, the results that return might not suit you. Furthermore, Goodman is what's populating. You won't be using this to purchase your actual units, but this would work the same way if you were searching for consumable items or accessories and so forth. So right now, 358 items is a lot for me to sort through. It's probably not what I'm looking for. So I could narrow it down by manufacturer on the left-hand side here. So if I wanted to go down to ICP, that would bring it down to 53 items. Still probably not showing me exactly what I want. So I can then narrow it down by my ordered products, which is going to drop it down to 8 items. So what that does is if I've purchased it within the last 6 months, it'll now bring up those results. So I've ordered this product 4 times in the last 6 months. Odds are that's probably what I'm looking for. Or something along this lines. If I really, really want to make sure I can get it right away, I can also narrow it down by stock at my branch. So say maybe I don't know a great deal of information about it, I can go, okay, I know I've seen it at the branch, let's narrow it down by stock at my branch. And now it drops it down to 6. Alternatively, if I do have a part number, so say I'm in the field, I've spoken with technical assistants, I know what the repair part is, and I just need to punch that in here quickly. You can enter a partial part number. You don't need to have the vendor prefix, and it should return results. So say I'm looking for the N4A 330. Instead of returning that 360 items, I now have 9 to choose from. So if you are working with something that is a repair part that you know a partial part number for, that is the strongest way to search. This is the product here that I'm looking for. Okay, great. At this point, I can add it to the cart. I can add it to a list. So I can add it to an existing list, or I can add it to a new list by simply creating a new list. Since we're on a product page, I will actually show you a little bit more about our products. So now that I've found the product that I want, I just want to double check and make sure it has all the features that I require. So by clicking onto this product, I can see what my value pricing is here. If there is, if it's a list and discount set up, so on some of your consumables, you might see that you'll get your net price and then your list value and your discount here. Again, you can see how many times you've ordered it, that it's in stock. You can add it to your cart or add it to a list. Any specific features that are here, any documentation such as manuals, brochures, installation, your warranties. And then this here is your availability. So this is really useful. So say you do get that orange bubble location indicator there that says, okay, I don't quite have it at my branch, but I can get it. By clicking on availability, you're going to see the branch that you're tied to here. The stock at our National Distribution Center here on the right-hand side, which is for most of you available overnight, as long as you place it earlier enough in the day. And then any other branches that have that. So for those of you that work close to multiple branches, you have the ability to see that availability. So if you do need to make a small trip to another location, it might be in your interest to do so. Okay. So again, just to summarize that, keyword searches the entire product, part number searches only inside of our part number. So you're narrowing down your results quite quickly. You can narrow it down by my ordered products, stock my branch, or your manufacturers. Okay. We also have the web quotes section. So our web quotes section is a really great resource. So traditionally, you've probably been receiving your quotes through that look a little bit like the ones on the left-hand side. They're generated at the branch, so are web quotes, and through syntax. So these are going to have your SKU and description, your quantity and pricing, the branch that they did it out of, who made the quote, all the core pieces to that, but they're missing a lot of extra value. So this same quote that's done in the exact same way at the branch can actually be sent to Wolseley Express. And you can access it through your web quote page. So you can directly order these through a red checkout button on your web quote. You have access to images, availability. You can see the SKU and description, same as Wolseley, and you can see your quantity and pricing as well. But you can physically click through to these items and see a lot more information about them, including specs and availability across Ontario. Just as a reminder, you can get to that from the My Wolseley dropdown, web quotes. You'll see that there's two separate sections in your web quotes. So anything inactive is something that you can actually place the order right away. So by simply going to the order, you'll see here you have all of your fun information, the product that's here, that it's in stock, your pricing, who actually wrote that quote. So if you do have any questions or you need any changes, you can reach out to them. You can also reach out to them and request a requote. So say you wanted to change the quantity on one of these, or you wanted to add a condensate pump or something of that sort, you can simply click here to request a requote, indicate why, any special notes, and then this, by pressing send, would send an email directly to that individual that wrote the quote. Okay, when you click checkout, it'll bypass the cart and get you to the checkout order information page. If you do not want to proceed at this time, you can simply click back to web quote and it'll bring you back there. The expired list tabs, which is a really great feature, will include any quotes that have been done in the last 6 months. So in the event that you had a quote that your customer approved 45 days later, you can go to this section, and this is where you're going to use that request a requote most frequently. Requesting a requote will allow you to, as you can see, request change product, change quantity, or you could just do the change pricing. As we know right now, quotations are only valid for 10 days with Wolseley, so you will need to just verify that those prices are accurate. Okay. One more feature that I'm sorry I should have stayed on here. You can actually, if your sales rep has quoted you multiple units on here, so say they've quoted you copper pipe in half, 3/4, and 1 inch, and it's something that you want to be able to order regularly, you can then save this as a list. But note that when you save it as a list, it updates to syntax pricing. So the pricing you see on your web quote, if it was special pricing for some particular reason, will not be the same that's in your list, okay? All right. I'm almost done, I promise. Okay, so Invoice Gateway. Um, Invoice Gateway is something as business owners that you're going to definitely want to make sure you have access to. You have 3 years worth of invoice history in this platform. So I'm just going to give you a quick demo of it. The account that I'm using is just a demo account, so please do not, you will not be seeing any of your team members' invoices at this time. It'll actually bring you to a separate outside account, so BillTrust. BillTrust is where we host our Invoice Gateway. It is secure. You can access it through Wolseley Express, but any specific technical details that you require or whatnot will be controlled by our credit team. So if you are having difficulty with them, please reach out to our credit team to actually assist you. Oh, sorry, I apologize. I have to log into a different account really quickly. There we go. Okay, so Invoice Gateway can be accessed through your My Wolseley dropdown, or on the bottom right-hand side under My Account, Invoice Gateway. Again, as I said, it'll redirect you to BillTrust. You don't have to click. If you do, that's fine. And it's similar to how you actually view your orders. So you have the ability to search for a specific invoice. there's a couple different tabs here. So this first tab is open invoices. That is anything that payment has not been specifically applied to by credit yet. Um, as you can see here, this should also include your statements if you do have a current open statement. Right now, this account does not. So your closed items are going to be anything that credit has applied payment to. Again, you'll be able to actually find your statements in here. So when you're searching for an item, you can use any of these top fields. So if you want to search by invoice number, you can do so. That is where you'll find your statement. So if you simply type in statement, it'll populate any of your statements over the last 3 years. You can search by the order number, the PO number that you've used, the date that it was invoiced, and any other information you'd like. You actually have access to your payment history as well. So if you want to see the payments that you've made and ensure that you think you did it, but you want to just double check, you have access there. And then any settings. So you're able to change your profile settings and method of payment here. In the Open tab, in the event that you do actually want to make a payment, you can select all on the top left-hand side. Once you select all or the few that you'd like to select, you can do a couple things. You can pay your bills. So that'll bring you to the payment page where you would select, it would show you the invoices that you've selected, how you want to pay it, whether it's using your bank account or if you have a credit card tied here, the date you want the payment to go through, and then simply click next and it'll walk you through all the steps. You could also make a lump sum payment on your account. So in the event that you did pull up your statement and you just wanted to pay the total value on there, you could simply do a payment on account and it'll walk you through those same steps. Or you could choose to print these invoices. So if you do want for your files to download an entire month's worth of invoices, you could do that by clicking print. And it'll give you PDF versions. Another option is also for you to download it. So in downloading it, it's going to provide you with a CSV type of download file. So if you do have any of your platforms that are compatible with that, such as Timberline or Peachtree, you can actually download it directly into your platform and it'll walk you through the steps of what you need for that platform. Okay. Okay, so at this point in time, do we have any specific questions that you want to address? I do not see any hands. And please feel free to reach out to me later if you do want to discuss a certain topic. I am definitely available for you. Your sales rep should be fairly knowledgeable on this as well. They may also just give you my information. Okay. And for your resource, I've also included, oh, sorry. I've also included our a bunch of useful, oh, my computer appears to be freezing on me, guys. So sorry. Okay, so it's not popping up right now, or at least not on my computer, but the last page that I have on this presentation is actually a link to register. So you can go directly to the registration page, which you will need your account number. We also have a quick link to the Wolseley Express how-to guides, which are one-pagers on all of the features that I showed you today. There's a link to the 20-minute training videos, and then also a shortcut to our quick codes. So a reference guide to how we format our part number. So that's very useful if you're looking to search using the part number search, as well as my email address. Okay, that is all for today, guys. Thanks for bearing with me. Megan, if there's anything else you'd like to say at this time.
I just wanted to say thanks, Jesse, for taking your time today to do this. If you guys have questions, just to reiterate Jesse's comments, feel free to reach out to either Jesse, your individual Wolseley sales rep, or myself, and we can definitely set you up or have specific conversations regarding how what has been shown to you is best applied in your business. So that concludes our presentation for today. Have a great rest of your day, and hopefully we see you on some of the other sessions coming up. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.